Hello, hello. Welcome to the 11th Hour Shaman podcast. I'm your hostess, Theresa Gutierrez. We're really getting into some deep stuff. So let's start with a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth with a sigh. Do you remember the rye seedlings experiment? Let's go back for a moment to the experiment we talked about earlier. The rye seedlings that grew 840% faster, stronger, greener when healers focused on them with love and light from 600 miles away. The healing didn't just make them grow faster for a moment, it permanently reset their baseline. They continued growing from that higher state even after the sessions ended. And here's the part that really caught my attention, and I hope it caught yours too. If a seed is altered by love, what happens to the seeds it then produces? Because plants reproduce from their state of being just like we do. If healing can change the baseline of a plant, what could it mean for human bodies, human emotions, human nervous systems, our resilience, and human DNA? Your DNA is not static. Your DNA is highly responsive. It's adaptive, communicative, and totally alive. Since 1926, scientists have known that DNA absorbs and emits light. They call it biophotons. Light as information, light as memory, light as language. What? Absolutely, yes. They communicate in light language. Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches that 98.5% of our DNA is unexpressed potential, not junk, not useless, but waiting for highly elevated instructions, a library of holy instruction codes. Greg Braden calls this the divine blueprint, the part of us designed to awaken, remember, restore, expand, and evolve. This is why elevated states of consciousness are not just emotional experiences. They are genetic instructions. Every time we enter states of love, compassion, gratitude, peace, reverence, wonder, and awe, freedom, we send new signals to our DNA. Just feeling joy is upregulating our DNA. Well, we turn genes on, meaning upregulating the genetic code. We turn genes off, that means we downregulate genetic code. We literally alter the trajectory of who we become. This is not metaphor, this is epigenetics. So, if you haven't read The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton, I also suggest that one. Let's return to the rye seedlings again. If love raises the baseline of a plant's growth, then repeated love would raise it farther. This is me in my thinking process. If a plant carries that shift into its seeds, then its offspring are born at a higher baseline. Now, look at the human lineage. Your body is not just yours. You carry the emotional chemistry of your mother's nervous system. You carry, obviously, the DNA of both parents. But in regards to mothers, mothers carried their mothers, and her mother carried hers. Grief, stress, silence, survival, these patterns travel through generations. I experienced this myself when I was preparing to go to shamanic grief ritual. And I had this incredible dream and realized how powerfully true it is that our ancestors are with us and know of our journey and grieve with us. Now, we don't just hold the negative, challenging stuff, we also carry love. So, all the love of our generations are in us as well. We carry presence and healing and any awakenings or enlightenments that have ever happened. And so here's the miracle. When you heal, the pattern doesn't just change for you, it changes for every generation that comes after you. It changes the baseline, just like the seedlings. You become the one who turns the light back on. This is why long distance healing matters, because healing is not limited by proximity. It's not limited by circumstances, and it's definitely not limited by the past. Your past does not dictate your future. It's only limited by consciousness, by choice. Every time you enter prayer, meditation, Reiki or energy healing, breath, presence, surrender, compassion, any of the elevated emotions that we talked about before, feeling love, peace, joy, freedom. Your DNA receives new instruction every time you feel those positive, elevated emotions. Your DNA begins to get the message that we're safe in this moment, we're definitely loved 100% all the time, and we're deeply connected right now. And that lets the DNA know that it can open to new potentials. So we open our hearts and our DNA opens to new potentials. What? This is awesome. And I am so excited and I love all of it. And this is how your future changes. So, in my case, I had kids, so I really believe that this affects them in so many ways. And some people haven't had children yet, but I believe it can affect them. It affects the way that you feel, is what I'm talking about. It affects not just your children and the DNA, which is extremely important, but for all of those people that choose not to have children or cannot have children, if they happen to love pets or plants, your positive emotions will affect them as well. Your healing becomes the foundation. Your softness becomes their safety, and your self-compassion becomes their inner voice. Your nervous system becomes their starting point. Your light is also their inheritance. And this is how we shift the future. Realizing how deeply and profoundly we affect everyone and everything around us, but not to put pressure on ourselves. Remember the self-compassion bit. It's very important because life has its ups and downs and craziness, but we just have to remember what's really the most important thing to be focusing our awareness on: things and places and purpose that elevates our emotions and is very compassionate when it is needed in times of grief and sorrow. So let's just feel all this together as we come to a close and place one hand on your heart and one hand on your solar plexus, taking a nice deep breath in, exhaling slowly with a sigh. And just begin to sense the air around you. I can hear the rain outside, which is crazy in Phoenix. It's so rare. And see if you can feel a sensation of gratitude come through your body. Thinking of anything that makes you smile. Does your chest get warmer when you do that? Mine sure does. All right. Now, if you would like to experience a state of peace and connection more deeply, I created a free Reiki angel audio to help your nervous system calm down a bit and feel more connected to your angels. So the link for that's below in the show notes. And if you would like to be supported in your healing journey, I offer free consultations to work with me. No pressure, just talking. And that information will be below as well. Now, next episode is the final episode of this particular Reiki series, focusing on hands-on and long-distance healing. But we're going to weave it all together so that we can look at these 8 episodes and how this really supports your healing, your identity, and your personal evolution. So until next time, stay open-hearted and stay connected to your angels. Bye.